In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you how I took a completely stock Mark 5 Supra and turned it into a full-blown silver screen monster, which, yes guys, I am giving this thing away. More on that in just a sec. See, we started with the foundation, a 2021 Mark 5 Supra, completely stock, fresh off the lot energy. And that matters because under the hood of this car is the B58, one of the most tunable engines on the planet. 3 liters, turbocharged, and capable of making way more power than Toyota ever intended. This isn't just a good starting point, it's pretty much a cheat code. But before we touched the performance, we had to change the identity of the car because a Fast and Furious build doesn't start with horsepower, it starts with presence. So the very first thing we did was completely transform the exterior. We took the factory paint, stripped away the subtlety, and wrapped the entire car in a bright metallic orange. And guys, I'm telling you, this thing looks premium. Not just any orange, but the kind of orange that instantly tells you that this isn't stock anymore. The kind of color that hits you before the car even moves. And this is where the car just kind of stopped being a Supra and started becoming an actual character. Once the wrap was on, everything changed. The body lines became sharper. The car, it looked wider, lower, more aggressive without touching a single suspension component yet. But visually aggressive? Well, it isn't enough. The next step was making sure the stance matched the energy. So we moved straight into the wheels and tires. The stock wheels, yeah, they're fine, but they didn't tell a story. They didn't fill the arches the way a proper build should. So we swapped out for a more aggressive setup. Wider TE37 style wheels, mated to some Michelin Pilot Super Sport 4S tires. And yes, there's some of the best performance tires that you can put on any street car, which gave us way better grip, way better handling, and a much more planted look. The moment those went on, the entire car changed again. The fitment tightened up, the wheel pushed closer to the fenders, and now the car actually looks like it could handle the power we're gonna throw at it. It wasn't just about performance, it was about balance. The car needed to look right before it could drive right. But even with the new wheels, something was still missing because every Fast and Furious style build has a signature piece, something that takes it from clean to unforgettable. So next, we installed the big wang, baby. And guys, real quick, have you ever spent $1 on something that you didn't really need? Well, for less than $1, you can get 6,000 entries to win this JDM legend, a Mark 5 Fast and Furious Supra, or a Shelby GT350 with a Screamin' Voodoo 6-speed manual and an aftermarket exhaust that's surely gonna piss off your neighbors. And on top of that, you're also getting 100 entries to win $100,000. Rocky from New York won our last car giveaway, an R35 GTR, and Greg from Seattle won our last $100,000 promotion. So yes, guys, this is real, and for less than $1, you could lock in your shot to be next. Click the link down in the pinned first comment to lock in your entries for less than $1 for a limited time. Now, back to the show. Now this wing is not a subtle one, a full carbon fiber rear wing that completely transforms the rear profile of the car. This is one of those modifications that changes the silhouette instantly. From a distance, you know this car is different. Installing it wasn't really simple either. This meant drilling directly into the trunk, committing to the build in a way that you can't undo, which is pretty scary for your boy. But once it was mounted, it tied everything together. The rear end finally looked complete, aggressive, purposeful, like it belonged on something far more extreme than a stock street car. Plus, I just love this "Need Money for Lambo" sticker that we put up there. One of our best-selling shirts. And guys, at this point, the car was starting to look the part, but the details are what actually separate a decent build from something that actually feels finished. So we started layering in carbon fiber. Side skirts went on next, extending the lower profile of the car and visually lowering it even more. This helps stretch the car horizontally, making it feel longer, wider, and more planted. It's a small change on paper, yeah, but in person, it completely changes how the car sits on the road. From there, we added additional carbon accents for the exterior, building a consistent theme across the entire car. Front, side, rear, everything needed to feel connected. That's what makes a build feel intentional instead of just completely random. Like, did a bird just my hat? There's no birds up there. Weird. And then we moved on to the riskiest part of the entire build, cutting into this beautiful hood. This is where things, well, they got real, because once you start cutting into factory panels, there is no going back. We installed carbon fiber hood vents, And not just for looks, but also to improve airflow and cooling. The B58 is going to be making significantly more power later on, so managing heat becomes really important. But visually, this is one of the biggest transformations. The vent just gives the front end a much more aggressive, race-inspired look. It adds depth, texture, and breaks up that flat surface of the hood in a way that makes the entire front of the car feel more alive. Now stepping back at this point, the car, well, it feels completely transformed visually. Wrap, wheels, wing, carbon, vents, it finally looks like something that belongs in a movie. But the interior, well, it still felt pretty stock. So we decided to bring that exact same energy inside. We swapped out the factory steering wheel for a full carbon fiber unit. This not only changed the look of the interior, but it also completely changes the driving experience. The grip is better, the feel is more precise, and that center stripe, well, that's in orange, gives you a clear reference point when you're pushing the car. Donuts, anybody? We also upgraded the paddle shifters to larger carbon units. The stock ones, well, they're small, hard to reach, and honestly, don't feel very performance focused. But then again, your boy has pretty small hands and feet. These new paddles are bigger, more tactile, and make shifting feel intentional. Now when you're behind the wheel, it actually feels like you're driving something built, not something stock. After that, we ceramic coated the entire car, and that is a very easy step to overlook, but guys, it is critical. With a wrap this bright and a finish this clean, well, you want to protect it. The ceramic coating adds a layer of protection against dirt, debris, and UV damage. But it also really just enhances the gloss. It makes the color pop even more, especially in the sunlight, which I'm kind of in the shade, but you can see it over here versus over here. And this is the moment where we took the car outside for the first time, all done, because shop lighting can kind of hide things, but real light doesn't. And as soon as this thing hit the sun, everything came together. The orange lit up, the carbon reflected perfectly, the stance looked super dialed, and for the first time ever, my heart was stolen. Well, not really, but it felt like the vision, it was real. But when we got the car back to the shop, you all know, well, the Fast and Furious, the OG one, there was one thing about those Civics that is just burned in my head, and it has to be the color green. Yes, installing Underglow, it's kind of hit or miss. I think for this car, it absolutely hits. And yeah, you can technically change it any color in the world that you want, or in the rainbow. But let's be real, this one, well, it's staying green. Because nothing says street legend like a neon glow bouncing off the pavement at night. It's loud, it's unnecessary, and it's exactly what the build really needed. Now when this thing rolls up, well, you don't just hear it, you see it coming. And here's the thing. Under the hood, at this exact moment, it's still stock, and that's where things are about to change, because the entire next phase of this build is focused on performance. We're talking full bolt-ons, intake, downpipe, exhaust, and a proper tune to unlock everything the B58 is capable of. This engine, it's a masterpiece, and it can handle serious power, and we're gonna push it to the point where this car isn't just a showpiece, it is a problem, a Lambo's problem. The goal here is over 600 wheel horsepower, and when you combine that kind of power with the weight and balance of this chassis right here, you end up with something that you can compete with cars way outside of its price range. But again, if you win it, well, I mean, it essentially cost you 99 cents. Click that link down in the pinned first comment. But even before we touch any of that, there's something special about this stage right here because, well, right now the car looks like it's already fast. It has the presence, the attitude, the aggression. It looks like something that should be dominating the street. And soon, well, it actually will be. That's the transformation from a completely stock Supra to a full Fast and Furious inspired build. Every modification we did had purpose, not just to make it faster, but to make it feel like something bigger than just a car, something that turns heads nonstop, something that tells a really, really good story. And we're not even done yet. So, if you enjoyed this build video, let me know in the comments down below. And like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell because we are on our way to 2 million subscribers. Also, go get entered to win this car or a Shelby GT350 plus cash by clicking that pinned first comment down below. I'm Brad Danger, this is Ideal, and promise me one thing, keep living the ideal lifestyle.